And I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 3 English lesson on titles. So we'll be doing our grade 3 English lesson on titles. And before we start with our lesson on titles, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts, grade 3. And then once we've selected the subject of English language arts, grade 3, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of titles. So our chapter is titles. Our subject is English language arts, grade 3. And the lessons that we're going to be focusing on under the chapter of titles is which book title goes with the picture. So which means that we're going to be looking at different pictures, and then we are going to basically see what title goes with the specific picture of the book. We will be capitalizing titles, how to capitalize titles, as well as formatting titles. And we are doing our tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. All right. So in one of our lessons, we're going to be looking at different pictures. And sometimes when, especially in storybooks for, let's say, the younger age groups, the book titles or the pictures of the books, like on the cover of the book, will already tell you what the story is about. Of course, the older you get, and then they don't show that anymore. So it's like a mystery as to you just having to look at the specific title, and then you basically just make out what the book is going to be about based on the title. But usually a picture of the book will tell you already what the title will be about, or the title as well as the pictures will already give you a brief idea as to what the book is about. And when it comes to titles, right? Whether it's title of books, magazines, newspapers, right? In a title, right, we need to capitalize this. This is now when we capitalize when we are specifically looking at titles of a book, right? So with titles of a book, we capitalize the first word. So the first word of the title. So if we look at the title of a book, right, the first word needs to be capitalized. So we capitalize the first word. We also capitalize the last word. And then depending on what the title is of the book, right, every other word that you think might be important, right, all the other important words also in between needs to be capitalized. So, for example, if we look at, let's look at this example of a book, right? Let's say The Wind in the Willows. This is now a title of one of the books. This one, The Wind in the Willows. Remember, we said that when it comes to titles of a book, right, we capitalize the first word, we capitalize the last word, and every other word in between that is also important, which means that it is wind. So the wind in the willows. So these three words will be capitalized, which is the first word, willows being the last word, and the word that is important is also wind. If we look at, before we get to the other words that we did not capitalize, let's go to the second one, right? It says James and the Giant Peach. So James and the Giant Peach. So when it comes to titles, right? We then need to capitalize the first word, which is James. We capitalize the last word, which is peach. And also a word that is important, right, is giant. Because they're putting emphasis on the giant peach. But now, actually, within these two titles, right, we did not capitalize in, we did not capitalize the. Over here, we did not capitalize and we did not capitalize the. So when it comes to titles, right, specifically, maybe let's make an example, titles of books, right? We said that in a title, we capitalize only the first word, we capitalize also the last word, and every important word that is in between, right? We do not capitalize words that are, let's say, an article, right? So articles are a and the. So if the word a and the is in between, right? Like for example, over here, which is the, then we do not capitalize it, right? We also do not capitalize short prepositions, right? Such as at, by, for, in, of, on, to, up. Here we have the word in. We do not capitalize it because that is a short preposition. And we also do not capitalize coordinating conjunctions such as and, but, or, which we have over there, right? Unless the article or preposition or conjunction is the first word. Let's say unless it is the first word of the title, then we capitalize it, right? Because the first word of a sentence or a title needs to be capitalized. However, like let's say if we look at the, right? The is an article, but the is the first word of that title, which means that we capitalize the. But if the is in the middle or in between, right, then we do not capitalize it. Then it needs to be lowercase, right? So once again, we capitalize the first word, we capitalize the last word, and we capitalize every important word in between. And the words that is not important that we do not capitalize are articles, which is a and the, short prepositions such as at, by, for, in, of, on, to, up, or coordinating conjunctions such as and, but, or. Unless all of these words are the start of a sentence, then only we capitalize it. But if it's in between, we do not capitalize it. Right? Do we understand or should I explain again? Can we continue? All right. Okay, so also when it comes to titles, right? We have titles of books, we have titles of movies, titles of plays, TV shows, magazines, or newspapers, right? So basically, when it comes to titles of a book, titles of a movie, a play, a TV show, a magazine, or a newspaper, right? Then it needs to be underlined. So it needs to be underlined, right? Or if you are typing it, right? And then it means it, or let's say if it's for typing or for writing, right? We underline it. Or it needs to be in italics if you're only typing. So if you are maybe typing because you need to maybe write a review on either a book, a movie, a play, a TV show, magazine, or newspaper. So if you maybe need to write a review on it for, let's say, maybe an assignment or something, if you are typing it out, right, then it means that your title needs to be in italics, right? So italics is, I think it's like something like this when you are, yeah. So italics, right? When you are typing. But when you are writing, right? Sometimes for writing as well as typing, then it needs to be underlined. So you can then choose to either underline it or to put it in italics when you're typing. But when you are writing it out, let's say you're writing it on a piece of paper, right? And then you need to underline the title either of a book, a movie, a play, a TV show, magazine, or newspaper. This is now, for example, if you are to maybe write a review and you need to, of course, write the title of either one of these, right? So, for example, if we look at this title, which is A Midsummer Night's Dream, right? So, which means that if you are writing this title, then it means that you're going to have to underline it. That is if you are writing the title. And if you're typing it, then it means that this whole title is going to be in italics, right? And when it comes to a title of a poem, right? So if you are maybe writing a poem or typing a poem, then the title of a poem or a title of a song or a title of an article should be in quotation marks. And there we have an example. If you are writing the song, maybe You Are My Sunshine, then this needs to be in quotation marks. There we have our quotation marks. Open quotation, you write down whatever the name of your song or poem is, and then close quotation, right? So once again, when it comes to titles, right, then we capitalize the first word of a title, we capitalize the last word of a title, and we also capitalize any important word that is in between in the title, right? We do not capitalize articles, and articles are such as a, an, or the. right? We do not um capitalize prepositions, short prepositions, which is in, on, up, under, and so on. And we also do not capitalize coordinating conjunction, which is and, but, or, unless the article, the preposition, or the coordinating conjunction is the start of a sentence, then only, or the start of a title, then only we capitalize it, right? And here we say that when it comes to the title of a book, movie, play, TV show, magazine, or a newspaper, if you are writing it out on a piece of paper, right, because you need to either write a review or something about it, then it needs to be underlined, right? But if you are typing out the title of a book, movie, play, TV show, magazine, or newspaper, then you can either decide to underline it or you can write it in italics, right? And when it comes to a title of a poem, a song, or an article, right, then we need to put it in quotation marks. All right, so that is basically our chapter titles. And we said we are doing our tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. So now we're going to aplusstudents.ca. We're going to the first lesson, which is to, the question is, which book title goes with the picture, right? And like I say, usually in books for younger grades or younger ages, they will basically, literally the whole cover of the book would be a specific picture of the title. So the title and the picture would go hand in hand, and already based on the title as well as the picture of the cover, it will already give you an indication of literally what the whole book will be about. But the older you get, right, the less pictures they'll have on the cover, right? Sometimes it will just be a dark background or something on the cover, right? So you'll just have to go based on the title, and then you'll just have to go based on that to know that, okay, the book is going to be about whatever, right? All right, so if we look at this picture, right, there we have somebody standing in the background and somebody with a magnifying glass, right? And clearly, this person with a magnifying glass is looking at either, let's say, grass that is growing or something, or plants that is growing. So which means that she is looking through the magnifying glass to see a bit better, right? So usually if somebody looks through something to see a bit better or they cannot see properly, what do you think they'll need in order to see properly? What do you think someone will need in order to see properly? So basically, in order for someone to see properly, they would need glasses, right? So they'll need glasses to go for an eye test, and they'll basically, let's say, recommend a specific glasses in order for you to see properly. So if we look at the book, the cover of the book, and this person trying to look at something through a magnifying glass, then it means that this person either wears glasses or don't wear glasses. But the title of this book is Fiona's New Glasses. Right? So the title of this is Fiona's New Glasses. All right, if we look at the next picture, right? What do you see in the picture? What can you see in the picture? Because if you can tell me at least certain things that you can see in the picture, then that will give you a kind of idea of what the book might be about based on the pictures that you can see on the book. It's on the cover of the book. All right, so if we look at the picture, right, and then we see a man, right, and then he's either standing in front of a glider or let's say an object, right? But it's not even an airplane because an airplane is way bigger. So if we look at the title of this book or the title based on the picture also, then they're saying this is Uncle. So this is Uncle Elmer, right? So Uncle Elmer, Uncle Elmer's flying object or machine. So that is the title of that book based also on the picture that we can see. All right, if we look at the next picture, right? What's happening within this picture? What do you see? So before we get to the title, what do you see in the picture? Like, what are they doing in the picture? All right. So basically, if we look at the picture, right, then we can see it's a father and a son, and they're building some cage, whether it's maybe for a bird, and the dad is busy um knocking hail, or is it now banging or knocking nails into this little cage they're making, right? And they're specifically showing that the dad is putting nails in it to show that an adult should always work with it, especially if you're younger. So which means that the title is Nailing It. They're nailing the bird cage. The best Father's Day ever. So meaning that him and his dad is working together, doing things together, doing activities together, and that makes him the best father, and it can also be the best Father's Day gift, right? All right, so now we're going to our test, all right, where we're going to choose which book title goes with a picture. If we look at this picture, right, we need to say which book title better matches the picture. If we look at the picture, the title of this picture or book is it? A week in Hawaii or fishing in the sea? So, do you think that they are on a holiday in Hawaii or are they just busy fishing in the sea? Option one or option two? So, do you think that they are having holiday, which is called a week in Hawaii, or fishing in the sea? First option or the second option? All right. So if we choose the book title that better matches the picture, then yes, it looks as if they are, let's say, either it's a week in Hawaii or they are on some holiday, right? Because it doesn't look like they are just fishing in the sea. So well done. The first option is correct. So which book title better matches the picture that we see over here? Is it The Mouse and the Elephant or Fast Friends? And now you're going to have to look at what is in the picture. If you look at the specific animals in the picture, is this the mouse and the elephant or fast friends? So option one or option two? So is it the mouse and the elephant or fast friends? Option one or option two? And if we choose the book title that matches the picture, and then we're going to say it is Fast Friends, which is the second option. Yes, because in this title, in the picture, yes, we do see a mouse, but that is not an elephant, right? So it cannot be the mouse and the elephant because that is a giraffe. So it is Fast Friends. So well done. The second option is correct. So now also which book title matches the picture, right? Is it Fun with My Brother or Learning to Surf? So Fun with My Brother or Learning to Surf. Are they learning to surf or are they having fun with each other, which is Fun with My Brother? So option one, Fun with My Brother, or option two, Learning to Surf. All right. So if we look at the title, the book title that matches or that best matches the picture, and then yes, we can say this is fun with my brother. So which means that they are having fun at the beach, right? Because nowhere does it show that they are learning to surf. There's no surfboard, nothing. So well done, guys. All right. So now we're going to be capitalizing titles. And we said that we capitalize within a title, we said we capitalize the first word, the last word, and every important word in between, right? And words that are not important in titles, right, that we do not capitalize unless it is the first word of the title. We do not capitalize articles, which is a and the, unless it is the first word of the title. Do not capitalize short prepositions such as at, by, for, in, of, on, to, up, unless it's the first word of the title. And we also don't capitalize coordinating conjunctions such as and, but, or, unless it is the first word of a title, right? All right, so now we're going straight to our test, right? Where we're going to be capitalizing titles. So we're going to look at the specific titles and we're going to select which one is or which one shows the title of a poem. Remember, we also said when it comes to titles of a poem, we need to put it in quotation marks like we see over there. So which correctly shows the title of a poem? Is it option 1 or option 2? Remember, the first word needs to be capitalized, the last word needs to be capitalized. Every other important word in between needs to be capitalized, but we don't capitalize articles, short prepositions, and we don't capitalize coordinating conjunctions. All right, so we are going to choose the second one. Yes, and like Emmanuel says, the first one is not, the first word is not capitalized. All right, so we'll go with the second one. So well done. That is correct. So the second option is correct. So which correctly shows the title of a movie? Title of a movie. In the blink of an eye, the first option, or the second option, which is in the blink of an eye. You're going to have to look at how it is capitalized. So the first option or the second option. All right, so if we're going to choose the correct which one shows the correct title of a movie, then we're going to choose the second option. specifically because the first word is capitalized, the last word is capitalized, and blink is also an important word which is capitalized. The first option, the last word is not even capitalized. So the second option is correct. Well done. And which correctly shows the title of a newspaper? The title of a newspaper. Is it the first option, which is New York Times, or the second option, which is the New York Times? So we need to say which correctly shows the title of a newspaper. If you look at what is being capitalized, right? Option 1 or option 2, the New York Times. And if we choose the correct title of this newspaper, then we'll go with the second option. Because the first word is capitalized, the last word is capitalized. Remember, the first word and the last word needs to be capitalized, right? That should literally be the first that should stand out for you. And in New York, I think, like a name of a city, right? And of course, that needs to names of places. We need to capitalize. So the second option is correct. Well done, everybody. And now we're going to be formatting titles, right? We said that when it comes to titles of books, movies, plays, TV shows, magazines, and newspapers, right, it should be underlined, right? That's if you're either typing or writing it, specifically for writing. And it needs to be in italics if you are only typing it, all right? And there we have an example of underlining it. That is if you are underlining it if you are writing, or it being in italics if you are typing it, right? And the title of a poem, song, or article should be in quotation marks, right? And there we have an example of You Are My Sunshine. There we have our quotation marks. And remember, quotation mark shows that either a word or words are in between the quotation marks, right? All right. If we look this title, right, it says which correctly shows the title of a TV show. Is this a title of a TV show? Especially since it's underlined. So we will then basically say that yes, this is a title of a TV show, specifically because TV show that needs to be underlined or it needs to be written in italics, right? Remember, titles of a book, titles of a movie, titles of a play, titles of a TV show, titles of a magazine, as well as titles of a newspaper should be underlined or it needs to be in italics if you are either writing or typing it, right? And we said that a title of a poem, a song, or an article needs to be in quotation marks. All right, so now we're going to our test. So now we need to say which correctly shows the title of a movie. So the title of a movie, right, is it option one, which is in quotation marks, which is Mr. Bug Goes to Town, or without quotation mark, Mr. Bug Goes to Town, the title of a movie. Which one is correct? The first option or the second option, which shows the title of a movie. All right, and if we choose the correct title of a movie, we'll go with the second option because the first option they said that only in quotation marks we put poems, songs, and articles. Which correctly shows the titles of a magazine? Is it the first one that is in quotation mark or the second one without quotation marks? The titles of a magazine. Remember, only a title of a poem, title of a song, or title of a article needs to be in quotation marks, which means that we'll go with the second option, right? All right, so that is now the end of our lesson on titles, right? And we said that when it comes to titles of books, magazines, articles, or so on, titles needs to, the first word of a title needs to be capitalized, the last word of a title needs to be capitalized, as well as every important word in between needs to be capitalized. We do not capitalize articles such as a and the, prepositions, as well as coordinating conjunctions and but or, right? Unless it is the start of the title. All right, so thank you very much, everybody, for joining today's lesson. Thank you very much for interacting. Please do complete the tests on your own that we didn't complete as yet. And then until next time, have a good evening further. Goodbye.